Hey, what's up, guys? So something I want to talk to you about, because I was just reflecting on it actually, and I don't think I really covered exactly how semen retention has changed my life. And I didn't write this down because I'm sure I can just jump right to it. So the first thing is that it led me to YouTube. Okay, so prior to practicing semen retention, I was hesitant about being on YouTube because I feel like I didn't have a lot to offer. I didn't have a lot to talk about, I thought. But as I put out my first video, basically, I just started coming up with a lot more ideas, and then I realized, like, wow, man, this is boundless. I actually do have a lot to talk about. But I always felt like I was somebody who had a lot to offer, but for some reason, when it came to something like this, I didn't know what to do. And I always thought that I had to have high quality everything to start, because that's what I saw, great production and all that. But I've come to find out that the message is what matters the most. So yeah, man, it led me to YouTube. And what I was about to say is that because of semen retention, I'm a lot more productive. You see, I put out a lot of videos, man. Since April, already over 100, and I think that I'll hit 150 of quality videos. So there we go. It led me to YouTube. Definitely a lot more productive. I'm better with talking with women. I'm not awkward around women anymore. All right. I see women like everybody else, like their guys. All right. So, without placing myself into the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? Without throwing myself into it. I just don't make a big deal out of everything. I don't feel the need to gas women up anymore, because with or without you, I still have to live with myself. I still have to be me. I still have responsibilities, and that's what made it easier for me to talk to women. The next thing, it made it very easy for me somehow to flip a switch. So like in the past, when I was depressed, for example, when I found myself too depressed and find myself in the bed, and I mean, I still get like that sometimes, but again, but in the past, when I used to do that, I would just stay in the bed, jerk off, be even more lazy, binge watch, eat ice cream. There you go. Now, when I feel this way, I say, okay, well, what's gonna make me get out of this rut? And then I do something about it. I'll hop on the floor and push myself to do push-ups, and the feeling goes away. So that's definitely something that I noticed, and that semen retention has to have a big part to do with that, because it was just so noticeable to me. Like, I remember how much time I spent dwelling. Now I just can't do that, and I don't feel comfortable, just sitting still all the time. Which comes with its own problems, because I want to read more. I am reading, but I just find myself wanting to move more. So that's another thing, is I'm so much more willing to take risk, calculated risk, albeit, but take risk, man. And if it if it doesn't work, then just try something else, man. It's good, man. Failing at things is good. First of all, it means that you tried. Second of all, it shows you where you're lacking. It reveals to you that. And I mean, who cares if you fail 1,000 times when one win can erase all of that? I was actually listening to Jeff Bezos earlier, and he said the same thing pretty much. He was just like, Amazon made $1 billion worth of, billions of dollars worth of mistakes, failures and all that stuff. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm just not afraid to take risk anymore, man. So if it means to talking to somebody who people may see out of my league, or I don't trying to, you know, just put out my books, put time towards writing books, or put time towards being an entrepreneur, I'm taking those risks. So Semen Retention definitely gave me that extra push. I think it's going to be one of the biggest tools in my success. You know, I believe that. So another thing that I noticed is that I'm extremely logical. You know, I grew up. I grew up being raised by women, nothing but women, no men around, nothing, no men. Grew up without any man around, no father figure, nothing. And so I was, you know, I'm already prone to being extremely emotional. And then you take the masculine out of me, you take the testosterone, you know, you take the fight out of me, you know, by jerking off all the time, you know. And okay, so I'm anxious, I'm emotional, I'm looking for validation, I'm vibrating at a low level, you know, and nothing makes me different than the typical woman when I'm like that, because you know I'm extremely feminine now, because I don't have that oomph in me that makes me want to, you know, push past any barriers, you know, go against the grain. Puts me in a mood of a mode of receiving instead of dishing, instead of putting out, you know, whatever it may be, putting out content, putting out effort, putting out work. And that's not saying that women don't do that. You know, of course they do. Of course, better than a lot of men, you know. But what I'm saying is, if the typical woman is feminine and the typical man is masculine, then I can see why a lot of these men are toxic. A lot of these men are toxic because they are shortening the gap between masculine energy and feminine energy. Now, we could also blame it on the food, high levels of estrogen or whatever. You know, we could blame it on the drugs, the weed, whatever it is. But semen retention has definitely killed off a lot of that aspect. You know, a lot of what made me feel just like a little bitch, for real. You know, because it's okay for women to be in a receiving mood and look for validation. Does this dress make me look fat, or whatever it is? But for men, that's nothing but insecurity. You know, that's nothing but insecurity. You know, and that's not to say that women only look for validation and things like that. But you see the trend here. You see the pattern. All right. So I'm gonna probably do a part 2 right now, because I'm just not in my zone. So, but the last thing right now is that I just don't seek validation anymore, man. You know, just kind of off of what I was just saying. I don't need your validation anymore, because most people are not going to chase their dreams. Most people aren't going to go above and beyond what's expected out of them in this society. And that's a problem, because a lot of people are unhappy. Most people are unhappy. In America, at least. 95% of people, 90% of people are unhappy with what they do for a living. And if you're unhappy with what you do for a living, unless you work 1 hour a day, a great deal of your time is being miserable. It's feeling miserable. So you're going to experience that when you're at home. You know, it's hard to compartmentalize that. But anyway, that's it for right now. Definitely got to do a part 2. I'll probably sit down and write some things so I don't be redundant and waste your time. But thanks a lot, folks.